यन्मनसानमनुते येनाभून्मनोमतं तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते.
That which cannot be visualized by the mind, that by which the mind visualizes. So they say, know that alone to be Brahman, not this which people worship. So again, we go back to verse 5. And you're going to find there's a similar thread that runs through these next few verses. Not only because there is this element of repetition, know that alone to be Brahman, not this which people worship. That is repeated 5 times. We always say the Upanishads are known for brevity. Now all of a sudden they're repeating themselves. Maybe they lost it along the way. There's a reason that they are repeating it 5 times. You must understand that they are pile driving this idea. Everyone understand this idea, pile driving. It's a repetition. So they keep on repeating. That alone is Brahman. That alone in the sense that which enlivens these various aspects of our personality. In the mantra before, it was that which enlivens the speech. We understood that Brahman is that by which speech is expressed. In this mantra, he's talking now about the mind. So, know that alone to be Brahman, that which enlivens the mind, not by which the mind conceives. Now, again, in the Upanishads, the Upanishadic literature, what you must appreciate is they often use this. So here he said mind, and you'll find that as we go on, there's no recourse or reference to the intellect. But here they use mana, which is clearly mind, but it's representative of both mind and intellect. Remember last time we spoke about speech, and speech again represents all the organs of action. Speech, you've got your hands, your feet, the genitalia, excretory organs. Those are your organs of action. So speech represents all of them. Here he talks about the mind, mana. Remember, mana is mind, buddhi is intellect. But, and the scriptures do this often, they just take one to represent all of them collectively. So mana means mind, and it covers both mind and intellect. So that which cannot be visualized by the mind. See, no matter how much you try, the mind, in its sincerest form of devotion, cannot feel God. But it enables, God enables the mind to feel. Very interesting. In India, hundreds and thousands of people on certain religious festivals will go through enormous amounts of trouble, not trouble, but effort, simply to gain a glimpse of the idol. And it's interesting because in seeing the idol, they often comment, or, I had a great darshan of the Lord. It's a feeling. Of course, we are aware that there is a feeling, you get a divine feeling that a temple may invoke. But the problem is people have convinced themselves that they have felt God, as it were. I was able to feel God's presence. Impossible, according to this. That which cannot be visualized by the mind. The mind is unable to feel God. Because, why? God is beyond feeling. As soon as you say, I can feel God, I can feel God's presence, you're pulling God and you're placing God within a terrestrial or worldly experience that you yourself are going through. You've reduced God. So that, referring to Brahman, cannot be visualized by the mind, but that by which the mind visualizes. So again, Brahman, the pure consciousness, enables the mind to feel. Yet, Brahman cannot be captured by feeling. Again, even if we were to look at this in the context of intellect, this is where it gets even more trickier. That which cannot be conceptualized by the intellect. God is not a concept. It is not a concept to be derived, but is that which gives rise to rational thinking, or thinking, gives rise to the ability to discern, but that which cannot be discerned. So again, the consciousness functioning through the mind gives rise to feeling. The consciousness functioning through the intellect gives rise to thought. It illumines the intellect to think. But neither the mind nor the intellect can reach Brahman, as it were. The mind cannot feel the consciousness, the intellect cannot conceive the consciousness. So again, it is a subject of comprehension, not an object of comprehension. We cannot objectify Brahman. It is that subjective aspect within us that enables the faculty to function. In other words, what he's saying is, don't waste your time trying to understand God. Don't waste your time trying to understand God. Because why? Because it can't be understood. See, people spend their whole lives trying to understand what is God, what is God. I'm not saying that you shouldn't pursue that line of thinking. Yes, agreed. You need to pacify the mind's and the intellect's spirit of inquiry with some palatable presentation of what that reality is. Otherwise, you just be agitated. But in no way can you conceptualize what God is, create or conceive that reality. It's impossible. You might say, well, what the heaven are we doing here, Craig? Oh, that was what the Upanishads was about. Give us some understanding to the nature of the reality. When in fact, all you're saying is, it's telling us is that you can't understand the reality. Fascinating paradox. Life is full of these paradoxes. We try to understand what God is. And then they turn around and go, you can never understand it. There's no point. Of course, there's a point. You cannot see God, you can't perceive God. You cannot feel God. You cannot conceive God, but you can become God. In fact, you are already God. You have to be careful where you say these types of things. I go around, don't you know you're God? It's exactly what happened to Jesus Christ. You may find yourself in a similar position. They strung him up, crucified him. He was only speaking truth. The kingdom of heaven is within you. In fact, you are a citizen of that kingdom. You belong. That kingdom is there in you. You are that reality. You are that God. We are that reality. We have just convinced ourselves otherwise. Somehow, yes, actually, that in itself is remarkable. How we've managed to convince ourselves that we are something other than the truth, the reality. Fascinating. Yet there we are, believing ourselves to be this person of this heart and this weight with these characteristics and these feelings and these ideas, and all incorporated into this wonderful personality of me. This is me. And we have lost touch with the true nature of who we really are. So, of course, the Upanishads is an attempt, and a brilliant attempt at that, to inspire that pursuit within us, knowing full well that with these limited equipments, we cannot reach there. We cannot see, we cannot feel, we cannot conceive God. Knowing full well that limitation, we still press on. We still press on with our pursuit. That cannot end. See, you give up on that, then you might as well call it a day. I must get back to where I belong. This is not home. See, life is a bridge. This is I don't know where this analogy comes from, but Swamiji communicates it often. Life is a bridge, right? Taking you from mortality to immortality. That's the opportunity. That's the opportunity called life. Right. You have this opportunity. We all do. We're all engaged in this opportunity called life. And it is a real opportunity because no other creature has access to this opportunity to attain immortality. I'm not talking about some magic potion or some meta neural plugin or whatever they're going about trying to construct to God particle, this or that. I'm not talking about any of that. We are God. And all it takes is our sincere effort to reach there. So life is this opportunity to cross from mortality. That's where we are. We're mortals. Everyone here was born and they will die. But in that cycle of birth and death, you have an opportunity to reach that immortal Brahman, that all immortal reality. No other creature can do it. So you have this bridge. Now what's happening? Instead of crossing over the bridge, what are we doing? And we'll build a little house here, and then we'll make a little family there, and then we'll get a little business here, and then this needs to also be there, and so many things we're adding onto the bridge, forgetting what that bridge is there for. Now again, I say this every time I make this kind of statement. There's nothing wrong in that. Nothing wrong with building the house, having the family, making the business, getting the things you want, surrounding yourself with comforts in life. Nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you must know that while you are here, you must appreciate that this, never lose sight of that God-given opportunity you have to get to that immortality. Do all the things you want to do. And I certainly don't discourage you from that. Do all the things you want to do, but always maintain that awareness. I know this is not home. I must get back to where I belong. If you can do that, then it's literally only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. You'll get there. However long that journey may take, however arduous it may be, however many challenges you find in the way, just maintaining that awareness will eventually get there. But it's not through understanding. It can't be understood. It's only by becoming. Everyone okay?
यच्चक्षुषा न पश्यति येन चक्षुर्घोषि पश्यति तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते.
Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. Know that alone to be Brahman, not this which people worship. Again, he drives home the same point. So, in fact, this mantra and the next one can be taken up together.
यच्छ्रोत्रेण न शृणोति येन श्रोत्रमिदगो श्रुतम् तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते.
So that which one sees not by the eye, that by which one's eyes see. Know that alone to be Brahman, not this which people worship. That which one hears, not by the ear, that by which this hearing is heard. Know that alone to be Brahman, not this which people worship. So again, here he's used two organs of perception to convey all of them, seeing and hearing. So we know that the organs of perception, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the skin, perceive the various sense objects within our environment. That is the role of the sense organs. Now, again, as I mentioned, it's the same thread that flows through all of these mantras. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 mantras. Same thread. Same lines repeated. So here he is referring to the organs of perception, which perceive and hear, see, smell, taste, and feel, touch, shall I say. So, again, this dire warning repeated again and again, to pile drive. See, what they're attempting to do here, we can't avoid perceptions, right? From the moment we wake up in the morning, what's happening? You sing. Maybe it's that flashing alarm clock, sleep or snooze. Maybe you wake up at pitch dark and you realize, oh my goodness, load shedding again. You can't avoid it. As you wake up, your perceptions start running. Now, nothing wrong per se, but everything wrong. Because what happens is we're bombarded by these stimuli constantly, from the moment we wake up till the moment we go to sleep, constantly bombarded by these stimuli. Eyes, okay, you can keep your eyes closed. For how long? You can block your ears. For how long? It's not practical to walk around like this, behaving like this. So stimuli are always entering into us. And why that is a problem, why that is a dangerous place to find yourself, is because we tend to get involved in these perceptions. So tantalizing they are, especially nowadays. They make the sense perception so tantalizing that we almost, it's difficult to avoid them. They're in your face, marketing and these billboards. And even if you're on your computer trying to read an article, the next thing you got something telling you to buy this or invest in this or whatever, you need life insurance. Man, I'm just trying to read an article here, So constantly this barrage of stimuli reaching us. So it's almost in a way understandable that there's going to be a certain amount of involvement in these stimuli, these sense objects of perception. So the warning here is, or the tone used here and the message that they are trying to convey is, shift your attention. See, we get drawn, and that's what I mean by involvement. We get drawn into these sense objects in our world, in our space. Whatever it is, we all have weaknesses for different sense objects. But we get involved. We get enmeshed, entangled. So he says, get off that. Shift your attention onto that which enables you to see, that which enables you to hear. Because that is God. God is not an idol sitting in a temple. Many people, you'll be surprised how much money and time they spend to go and to visit an idol, believing that to be God. No. So listen here, don't waste all your time. You're going to catch one train one day and spend all this money, and then you got to wait in this line. I got one photo. I was there last year. I got a photo. Just there it is there. They won't be satisfied with that. No, they can't be. No, I must see that, because that is where God resides. Not that. Not what you people worship. See, an idol is there to represent the ideal. The ideal in this context is God. God is the ultimate ideal to pursue, the ultimate goal, the purpose of our human endeavors and pursuits, to attain a state of absolute peace and bliss, which is God, essentially. So the advice or the encouragement or the direction is to shift the focus of attention. See, if I hold my thumb in front of my face, if I focus on the thumb, then all of you become blurred. If I focus on all of you, the thumb becomes blurred. All right. So now the question is, where is your point of focus? It's either on the thumb or on the background. We can't focus on both. So this is the question. Where is the focus of your attention? And this is the encouragement in the verse. Start to shift the focus of your attention from what you are perceiving to that which enables you to perceive. Not only is that being spiritual, it's also very practical. But how is it practical? It's not always that you're going to see favorable things, or hear favorable things, or taste favorable things. And of course, when you encounter these, and you're unfortunately bound to encounter things that you dislike. What is it? Past short circuit. How do you short circuit that? It's not what I'm tasting. Terrible. It's not what I'm tasting. What makes me taste, whether it's good or bad. That is a disgusting sight. It's not what I'm seeing. What makes me see? It's very practical. All of a sudden, you're confronted with a host of things that are not to your liking. It's not whether I like it or not. That which enables me to like it or not. Very practical. Here's your short circuit path. Shortest circuit to Brahman. So all it takes is shifting the focus of attention. You may say, easier said than done, Craig. Correct. If it was that easy, everyone would be enlightened. It requires enormous amount of application, enormous amount of diligence, an enormous amount of consistency. But possible. How do you say that? There are great souls who have achieved that state. So we shift our attention to that subject within that perceives, maintaining a constant awareness on that consciousness through every perception. It should sound somewhat familiar because we covered a similar idea in the yajnas. How do we align our activities within this terrestrial realm of experience to the reality through the yajna? Now, what happens as soon as you start shifting your focus of attention to that which enables me to perceive? All of a sudden, you start gaining a sense of dispassion towards the world. It doesn't matter so much. Oh, yeah, but this person said something not so nice about me. So what? Yeah, something nice, something not nice. The same consciousness is allowing me to perceive that remark. Oh, no, I don't like that particular type of music. It's not to my liking. That which enables me to hear. So all of a sudden, what you find is you practice this concept. You start gaining this dispassionate attitude towards the world. That's not to be mistaken for, I don't care, it doesn't matter. We're not encouraging tamas here. But with spiritual growth, you start reaching a point where you realize, okay, so what? That is the world, in fact. The world is these opposites playing out constantly. I don't always have a say in how the world should cater to my particular flavor and taste. It can't. I accept that. So in this process, you become more objective. You become a sakshi, a witness to the play around you. But this guy said something, praised you to the heavens, Craig. They're a brilliant teacher. Is that so? That which enables me to teach. This guy, Craig, said, I hate to break the news to you. He said, terrible teacher. Method, everything, attitude, all wrong. Is that so? That which enables me to teach, whether it's good or bad. That is the reality. That is the truth. That is what I'm interested in. Not what somebody is saying. So you become a sakshi to the entire phenomenal world that is being expressed in front of you. It's your choice. Where's the point of focus? You're either focusing on the world, you're getting entangled, enmeshed, involved in the world, or you shift your point of focus, that which enables the entire experience to occur. Maybe I say, well, it's very easy for you to say, Craig. Very compelling argument, but we are unfortunately all in the world. Last asked something like this on a Monday evening. We're all very much in the world, Craig. So how do we function? See, it doesn't matter. This is you could be in yoga or in boga. Yoga or boga. You could be in either. That is not the test of divinity. See, yoga means you could be in this kind of class. You could be doing something spiritual, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I go to Vedanta lectures, or I go to temple, or whatever, yoga, union, you're in that practice. Or you could be in boga. Boga means opposite, discotheque, bar, maybe drinking. That's not the test of divinity. So what does it mean then? You see, because otherwise your argument is, well, you have to go to office every day. How do I switch my thoughts? Easy, sitting in the ashram, very easy to redirect your thoughts. It is not where you are. It's not whether you're in yoga or in boga. Where is your mind? Where are your thoughts? That's what makes you spiritual. You see, there's example given is these two friends, right? And they are really good friends, always playing together. Except for one point, they separated, and that is the Friday night. The one fellow, he goes to shore, a Jewish chap, right? He's they two very well behaved, very good Jewish boys. And like all Jewish boys, Friday is shul, but some Jewish people, they don't go. So one of the boys, he gets dragged to the shore. He gets taken to prayer, Shabbat. The other fellow is taken to a party. There you go. Friday night is a pizza night, Yeah, Friday pizza night. Really good time they're having. Now, who is spiritual? The guy on the shore or the guy is having pizza? The interesting thing is the guy who's having pizza and jolly good time, the music and dancing and whatever, carrying on. He's thinking, I don't know if this is the most productive way to spend Friday evening. Yeah, my friend, so pious, it's sitting in shore, thinking of God, that's really where I should be. The guy on the shore, he's sitting there on his knees praying, what they're thinking, well, my friend must be having a jolly good time, and that pizza and disco and dancing. I wish I was there with him. So who's spiritual? It's not where you are that matters, where are your thoughts. That is more important. And you have the power to direct and control your thoughts. That's the advantage. Should you wish to develop that control, and that's also up to you. Only you have that power to do that. No one else can grant you that. Okay.
Yat prāṇena na prāṇiti yena prāṇah pranīyate tadeva brahmat त्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते.
That which one sustains not by the prāṇa, vital air, that by which prāṇa is sustained. Know that alone to be Brahman, not this which people worship. So again, another way of presenting a similar idea. The supreme reality, the Brahman, that pure consciousness, lies within you, lies within each and every one of us. It is not that which is worshipped externally. In this context, he talks about it with reference to the prāṇas. Prāṇas, again, are these vital airs, these 5 physiological functions. So we have prāṇa, apāna, vyāna, samāna, udhāna. Perception, excretion, digestion, circulation, thought absorption. These are the 5 prāṇas, these 5 vital air forces, let's call them, or physiological functions. It's not physiological functions is not entirely correct, because it's the subtle aspect of those physiological functions. I'm not going to get into that in great detail, but there is an aspect within your personality that supports these functions to occur, right? We all know you got perception, you got excretion, digestion going on, circulation that takes all the digested matter to where it needs to go, and then finally you have thought absorption, which would have been covered in the context of youngsters, and this is all the prāṇas, what you must appreciate, wane as one gets older. So you find, even perception, eventually you got to wear glasses because the perception goes. And every aspect, digestion slows down, circulation, thought absorption. It's very hard to catch on to new ideas the older you get. It's just a natural phenomenon of life. We can't do much about it. That's just the way life plays out. So these prāṇas exist. Now, the ignorant people believe that these prāṇas, and that's why you get the people that are doing these pranayama, this practice of breathing, because they erroneously believe that the prāṇas sustain the life principle, or that life force in you, the pure consciousness. But in fact, it's the other way around. It is the life principle, the consciousness within you, that sustains the prāṇas, the vital air functions to function. Not as people believe, the other way around. So it is the pure consciousness that is the primeval cause for the functioning of these prāṇas. Again, I'm sure you are seeing the flow here. That which allows the prāṇas to function. The prāṇas don't support the functioning of the consciousness. They can never be held responsible for sustaining consciousness. But the ignorant believe that to be so. Prāṇa, you may have heard of some of these concepts, and I'm no expert in them. Pranayama. Yeah, pranayama has a specific role. But in no way can pranayama take you to God. So, yes, pranayama is a very useful exercise for many things, especially health. I would encourage, as part of your daily stretching routine, yoga routine, you incorporate some breathing. They're doing a lot of scientific research on it. Not that it's necessary, but we are in this age of scientific inquiry, and a lot of work is being done on the effect of pranayama, these various breathing techniques. So what we must appreciate is that they in no way can give us the reality. Any amount of pranayama you do cannot reveal Brahman, as it were, because Brahman is that which sustains, supports the pranayama, the prāṇa, one of the pranic functions, as it were. One last example or analogy to try and explain this flow of thought, this concept of the self and its relation to your experience, that it's not an object of perception, comprehension, or thought, but the subject which enlivens perception, emotion, thought. You're in a room. I won't say a dark room because nowadays every room is dark. So you're in a room and you need to navigate around. You need to find your way. Everyone is very well prepared. They bring out their flashlight or their LED thing, and they're able to see where they're going. The flashlight points the light. Then you notice, oh my goodness, battery is getting less, right? So you think, okay, it's okay. I will just change the battery. And then you think, oh, but now I don't know what batteries this torch takes. What battery am I going to put in there? You're plunged in darkness here. So you think, I don't know, think of it. Such an obvious solution. All I do is carefully screw the back out, and as I take the battery out, put in front, and just get a quick look of what that battery is, and then I know what I need to go into the drawer, dig out, and replace it with. So you start the process. The light is still getting very dim now. You're losing the light, as they say. You slowly screw out the back, and as you pull it, anyone can appreciate what happened. You're in darkness now. You've taken out the very source of the light. So it's not, so you understand. You can't use the light to see the battery. You can't use the organs of action, of perception, the mind, the intellect, the prāṇas, to see the consciousness, to gain a feeling of the consciousness, to gain conception of the consciousness. Impossible. In none of the 5 verses you understand. If you understand that example, you've got it. You don't need to understand the verses. Just understand that torch example. There's no way you can ever see the battery cell with the same torch that is being used, that the batteries are powering that same torch that is being used. It's impossible. It's an impossible feat. Maybe what is that fellow, Houdini or something, can pull it off. What is that other great, Sai Baba? Maybe Sai Baba has got some technique there. He can do that. I don't know. I've never seen anybody who can do that. It's not possible. Similarly, it's not possible to perceive, feel, conceive the consciousness, because it's not an object of perception, emotion, and thought. It is the subject within you that perceives, feels, and thinks. How do we get there? By negating actions, perceptions, emotions, and thoughts. Ultimately, you reach that pure consciousness, the reality within. Bus. Are there any quick questions? Any questions, clarifications about the retreat? A number of people, especially in the class, signed up. So, yeah, Vasu.
So, at the very beginning of Vedanta treatise, the concept was given that the individual is made up of the spirit and matter. And without the matter, without the spirit, the matter cannot function. It's like somebody uses the example of petrol in a motor car. Without the fuel, the car cannot move. So I understand where this taxi's power driving the whole entire perceptions one by one. But in an overall context, can we also understand it is the spirit that enlivens all faculties, and therefore we should be focusing on that consciousness in our day-to-day activity, is that full-time awareness of that reality. But that's the consciousness only.
Yeah, so in effect, exactly. That's, you see, we are this combination of spirit and matter. This is this life that we are experiencing. See, the consciousness, the pure consciousness, does not rely on the matter equipments for anything. Without the matter equipments, however, there's no expression of life, but the consciousness remains. Consciousness was, is, and ever will be. But for the expression of life, we need this combination, spirit and matter. Now, in order to get back to spirit, what we have to do is we have to segregate the two. We have to understand spirit as something different from matter. Once we're able to split the two, as it were, to discern spirit from matter, then we've understood. Now, all we are caught up in is this combination. And in fact, I think it's in the Atma Bodha. It says it's an unholy union. Unholy union, they call it. Spirit and matter. In fact, there is no matter. There's no matter. There's only spirit. Again, comes back to that idea. We've somehow convinced ourselves that no. There's definitely matter here. This computer is matter. This face is matter. Matter. Okay, no, it doesn't matter. We've somehow convinced ourselves that we are this combination. No, especially because now we're investigating these truths. There's this spirit, and I'm this matter, and we are the spirit and matter. In fact, in pure philosophy, pure Vedanta, there's no matter. But that's not going to help us. That's not the perspective from which we are coming from. We are this combination. So yes, how do we get back to the spirit element? Through our daily actions, through our perceptions, through our emotions, through our thoughts, we negate that unreal aspect of our personality, and we attune to the reality. That's the exercise. Okay. Right. Thank you, everyone, for your time, attention, and participation. And